Hello, good morning. Welcome to my live stream. It's Saturday morning here in the UK, and our local time is 6:55 a.m., which is the GMT or Greenwich Mean Time. Hi, Jenna. Welcome. I can see that you are here. If you're free, please join me. Hello.
I'm actually driving right now. I'm going somewhere to join you.
You got to be careful because you're driving at the moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was actually know that class will be start at 4
What's
in my time,
what's the time now there?
3:56.
I always start till 5 minutes early, so don't worry. You can join me anytime.
Okay. So,
I can hear the sound of the light of your car, like tick tock, tick tock.
yeah, I
Maybe,
have to go left right now.
maybe you're trying to go left or right. Indicator light.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you from, man?
I'm from South Korea.
Oh, you speak nicely, Jenna.
Oh, thank you.
I wonder
I
what
actually went to, yeah,
could go on.
I actually went to New Zealand when I was like 13.
Hmm?
No, 11 for 1 year.
Yeah, New Zealand.
So I got,
Go,
yeah, I
go.
got this accent.
Hmm. That is very good accent, though. And New Zealand is one of the amazing countries, where you can get a different kinds of accent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we call them Kiwi. Yeah,
Yeah, kiwi.
yeah. Kiwi is also a very famous fruit in
Yes.
in our country, like in England and many other countries.
And there are actually like three kiwis in there.
Uh,
Bird and fruit and people. Where they from New Zealand?
the indigenous people, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, exactly. And what's the reason for going there when you were 11?
Um, Actually just fun in my case, but not in my parents. They actually want to give me a chance to learn English.
Hmm.
So I went to just for learn English.
Oh, okay, that's cool, pretty cool. And as I said, you've got a very good accent, though. The way you're talking.
Thank you.
And so, may I know the reason why have you subscribed to me then?
Because I want to take a test IELTS,
Okay.
and I actually going some English Academy class in Korea for that test,
Mm-hmm.
but there are no class for speaking, so I have to practice somehow.
I understand. Okay. And how long have you been going for that academy, or are you planning to start any higher degrees there?
Oh, pardon?
You said that you're going in a Korean academy, right?
Ah, no. I mean, uh, actually, we have a lot of academies. I don't know what's called for, but um, English academies.
Okay.
Oh,
And may I ask you what you learn from there?
where
I mean, from the academy, what do you learn? Are you studying any course, as you said?
I learned writing for task one and task two,
Mm-hmm.
and reading for read the book Cambridge IELTS 16,
Mm-hmm.
and li- actually listen to that book, read that book.
Okay, now I got you. Yeah, okay. So you're taking classes from that academy to know
Yeah.
about IELTS exam. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Mhm.
your plan is to study abroad. Have you decided which country are you going for?
Uh, I plan to go to Europe,
Okay.
but now I don't know.
Okay.
uh,
And which level you have got planned to come here? Undergraduate, graduate program, or any other
uh,
program?
graduate program.
Graduate program. So have you already completed your undergraduation from there?
Yes,
And what was your major or which subject it was?
biology.
Wow, biology is a very difficult subject.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Botany and zoology. Yeah, these are the combinations.
Arrived where I want to go. So,
Welcome, welcome to my lesson, IELTS 4 skills, and thank you very much for the subscription. Okay, so your primary focus is to learn the writing techniques. And what else you said? You're good at speaking. With this similar kind of expression, you're going to get more than 7 easily. So the only thing you must possibly use some rich and standard vocabs through which you'll be able to express your thoughts and ideas. Okay, Jenna has muted. Okay, that's not a problem. So, Javier, welcome once again. Jenna is my new subscriber of this lesson, and who is an amazing speaker. I believe that we'll have good time here. So, Jenna, let me know when you're free so that we can continue our conversation. So, once again, dear viewers, it's Saturday morning here in the UK, and our local time is 3 past 7 a.m., which is the UK time or GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And through these lessons, we try to focus on that 4 modules of the IELTS exam, which is why this lesson is called IELTS 4 skills: listening, writing, reading, and speaking. And most of the cases, learners can develop listening and reading by themselves, but writing and speaking sections are mostly supervised by the qualified and competent teachers who can help you giving more information, the strategies, and we call it rubrics to get more scores or desired scores in IELTS exam. And amazingly, IELTS exam is not only the exam about English language learning, is the test or the exam how you know those strategies, tips, and rubrics to take your English language to the next level. And briefly saying, why do people sit for IELTS exam? There are 3 types of people or learners who sit for these exams. Number 1, if someone is planning to study in any English speaking countries. Welcome back, Jenna.
hello.
So, are you at your home now or somewhere?
Some places where I can speak English loudly.
Okay. All right. Would you like to tell me a little bit more about yourself?
um, I'm from South Korea, and my name is actually in Korean name is Yujin, and but you can call me Jenna. And I majored biology, and I want to go aboard with master program. So
I will take IELTS test for that.
Okay. Have you already applied, or are you planning to apply soon?
Oh, yeah, like end of February or March 1st.
Okay. Obviously, it's an academic test you need to sit for.
Yeah.
So, in the academic year, already studying writing and reading, right? That is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they conduct any session for speaking?
There are have classes for speaking, but they teacher just told us for how can we not the questions will be like what is your major like that. So generally I can't speak in English for that. So
I got you. So, then in that case, I think, Jenna, we can have speaking, the simulating tests here, so that all the rubrics and the strategies how we can get good score.
thank you.
You're very welcome. And is it mandatory to use mask in Korea at the moment?
Yeah, everywhere I have to wear this mask, and this place I just want to take don't show my faces.
No, no.
I'm shy.
That's okay. As long as you are okay, that's fine. I don't have any problem. Then I'm just asking for, out of curiosity. Okay, so,
Uh-huh.
so let's crack on to our main focus,
Mm-hmm.
speaking first, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm going to share some tips before we start discussing the topics. And as you might be aware that there is no pass or fail marks in IELTS exam, okay? It's just
Mm-hmm.
bands, band from 1 to 9, which really reflects your level of English. Though
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have seen that people have got lower band, but they really deserve to get a better band.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Speaking tips. So these are all known to you, like listening, reading, writing, speaking. And you know that in listening, there would be 40 questions and 3 parts. Briefly, I'm saying, yeah. And the
Mm-hmm.
only difference between the IELTS academic and general is reading and writing. Listening and speaking parts are same for both of the tests. And academic writing is more difficult, honestly, than general writing. Similarly, academic reading is based on academic, comprehensive passages, where you must have very good knowledge of vocabs and all these different topics. Whereas in general, reading is like 5 small paragraphs and you can answer it quickly. And as a part of my success stories, few of my students got very, I think 26 total got very good scores in IELTS exam, and the high score was 8.5 in academic and general, and the low score
Oh.
was 6. Okay, so listening 40 questions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
as I say, 30 minutes, the plus 10 minutes transfer time. Reading 40 questions, 60 minutes. Writing section 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2, total 60 minutes. Speaking section 3 parts, 11 to 14 minutes depending on the response. Okay, and IELTS academic. Do you need to see this chart? I'm sure you know this chart. All right, forget about the chart. Speaking tips number 1, use correct grammar. I've just listened to your conversation, so we're going to have more conversation about task 1 and possibly discuss task 2 as well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
speaking task. So what I suggest that because it has got 8 lessons, the first 4 lessons will focus on speaking, and other 4 will be reading. And do you have any problem in writing at all, Jenna?
Ye- I
I'm sorry,
think
writing. Yeah, I'm sorry. Speaking and writing.
writing.
Yeah, writing tips.
Um, yeah, please.
That's great. But do you have any problem in reading? My apology. I was going to ask you reading, not the writing.
I think I am. I can understand what they are saying, but I got like 40 questions to 20 or 28.
Oh, that's a good score though.
Okay, thank you.
So that is like 40 is out, and 28 out of 40, right? 70% marks.
Uh-huh.
That's good marks though. Okay, so number 1, as you might be aware, grammar. Use correct grammar, and I'm sure you have got good knowledge about using grammar, right? Especially tense.
I don't think so, but
Okay, remember that in IELTS exam, there are 2 questions they always ask this way in this
Mhm.
task 3, the last part of the speaking part. One of them is we called conditional sentences, another one is we called PPF, which stands for present, past, and future. So they will ask
Mhm.
you a question in such a way, then you have to use these 3 tenses in a very good way to demonstrate your understanding of English tense, okay, grammar especially. Okay, and about the grammar, I always suggest each and every person to know about the tense, because tense is the amazing part of English grammar through which you can learn and develop yourselves in a very standard and academic way. Because
Mhm.
when you study tense, you need to study the basic grammar like punctuation, capitalization, numbers, persons, parts of speech, and also different kinds of verbs, which are important for the tenses. And as well as indirectly, you have to study like voice, active and passive voice, and narration, which sometimes called quotation, okay, direct and indirect speech. Number 3 is accuracy. Focus on clear grammar and precision, and do not try to use new words or phrase you are not sure of. Many
Mhm.
times, many of our learners try to do that in the exam, but if you're not comfortable to use a new word, do not use it. Okay. And what's your required score? I should have asked this question as well, Jenna.
Mhm.
Your required band score in IELTS exam. How much do you need?
Uh, at least six, and I want to get like 7.
Okay, great. I'm sure you'll be getting more than 7 if you,
Oh, thank you.
practice hard.
I,
Now, the way you're speaking, you'll get 7 easily. It's just you have to
oh.
remember to use some standard and rich vocab. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, let us go quickly these bits. Then self-correction. So I'm sure you know that what does it mean. So if you're speaking and you realize that there is something you have just used incorrectly or mistakenly, amend it straight away. Okay, and let me give you one good example. I've got a British English colleague, a girl. She always speaks like that, like, Ali, you was coming that day from the other side of the road. Then this is her common way of speaking. I said to her, look, we generally don't use you was, we use you were. And then she said, oh, this is how I learn. And so look, you are in English. And then she started laughing. Anyway, this is one of the mistakes in a very often subject verb agreement. We don't use the correct form of verbs or maybe tense. But if you ever notice that while you're having a conversation in the exam, just amend
Mhm.
it. Okay, it will show your integrity of learning, as well as you'll get quarter marks or half marks more.
Mhm.
Self correction. Okay, talk loudly, which is very important. You have been asked a question and you're not talking loudly, you're mumbling or you're talking very silently. The examiners need to listen to you to assess your English. Okay.
Okay.
Rule number 2 here when you're speaking, do not speak too fast or too slow.
Mhm.
Maintain the 3 seconds gap technique. This is very important because in IELTS exam, the primary focus for the applicant is that fluency. So that is the first thing they're going to assess. So what do you understand by fluency, Jenna? Could you please tell me a little bit?
A fluency means like how can I speak more?
Mm-hmm.
I know in Korean meaning, but I can't explain it in English.
No, you're doing great. You're explaining correctly. Yeah,
Okay.
how you can speak more, but how can you speak more? This is my question to you.
Oh, how can I speak more? Um, I don't know.
Okay, in order to speak more, we must know some vocabulary. We call
Oh
we,
yeah.
we call it lexical resources. Yeah, I'm going to explain this
Mhm.
word. It's very important. Lexical resources. Okay, so lexical resources is a variety of words. It could be synonyms, it could be
Mhm.
antonyms, it could be phrasal verbs, it could be group verbs, it could be phrase, or it could be an idiom, or maybe it could be some dialect that you can use during your conversation. Okay, so
Mhm.
fluency means when you're having conversation without having any difficulties at all, without pausing too much, the 3 seconds gap, the
Yeah.
pause.
Mhm.
If you, and I'm sure you know that when you're having conversation, we don't talk like kind of like a robot. Our voices
Yeah.
must go up and down. We call it
Mhm.
natural speaking intonation. This is very, very important. If you want to get good marks in IELTS exam, use your expression and intonations.
Mhm.
And obviously, we have got uh, 5 types of intonation basically. One is upper intonation, like, hey, what are you doing now, Jenna? For example, it's going up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, upper intonation. Now there is falling intonation or down intonation. Hey, Jenna, what are you doing now? Look, voice is
Mhm.
cool. Then it
Mhm.
could be the other way around, up to down. What are you doing now? In surprise, yeah. Now down to up. What are you doing now? Look, expression. This is very
Mhm.
important for any conversation, not only in IELTS exam. But remember, in order to get good marks, you have to use these expressions. If it is a surprise,
Mhm.
use the surprise intonation. Oh my
Mhm.
God, like I got the high score. I couldn't imagine. Like, for example, okay.
Okay.
Intonation. We call it natural of speaking as well as articulation. That is another word. I'm sure you know this.
Mhm.
The talk natural way with good, expressions. Then we don't talk in a monotonous way, like robot. Robot has got the monotonous way, like I'm
Mhm.
T20 from 29th century. What's your name? As humans, we don't talk like this. It is only robot can do
Yeah.
that. Okay, so that intonation we never consider monotonous or
Mhm.
similar intonation always. Okay, now while you're having conversation, let me ask you a question. Okay, Jenna.
Mhm.
So Jenna, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay, and could you please tell me a little bit more weather about the place you are staying?
Um, in Korea, we have really, really cold weather in these days, like -7 degree from now. So I have to wear really, really, really many clothes for warm. Keep my keep keep it warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. You see, you have answered well, though the first question I'm going to come back later after finishing this topic,
Okay.
all these bits and bytes. So, 3 signs gap means when you have been asked to answer a question, uh,
Mhm.
we are pausing. If you remember that, we are not talking straight like a train or rain. Okay,
Yeah.
we are pausing. Do not give the pause or do not stop more than 3 seconds. So
Okay.
fluency is measured this scale 3 seconds, like one,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3. Say you have been asked, so the weather of Korea. Then if you stop and start thinking, then 1 second gone, 2 seconds is gone, 3 seconds is gone, and then start speaking. It's very cold today. Now, if 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds gap means that your fluency is gone somewhere. So,
Okay.
and also remember, IELTS exam is a time controlled exam. Always keep a watch
Mm-hmm.
beside you, especially when you're writing or
Mm-hmm.
reading. Okay, these two parts of the exam, because I have to follow the time to get the maximum
Mm-hmm.
answer and get the required score. So this is the 3 seconds. Remember that do not give pause more than 3 seconds in any conversation. But there
Mm-hmm.
is a technique. Sometimes what our learners do, if they can't get a word in more than 3 seconds, you may use a filler. You know the filler, though I don't suggest to use it. Like is one of the fillers. Well, you know what? Actually,
Uh,
people use different kinds of fillers.
mm-hmm.
You can use once or twice the fillers, but do not use too many fillers. Then the
Okay.
examiner will be able to understand that you're trying to trick. Okay, because examiners are so clever, they'll in the twinkle of an eye they will be able to understand your trend of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next point is be confident and positive. Remember that this is a very important and vital part, that when you're speaking, make sure you feel that I'm the best speaker. Even if you're making mistakes, don't worry, don't stop, don't give a pause.
Okay.
Okay, be confident, positive, and talk. And also, don't be nervous at all. If you become
Mm-hmm.
nervous, then it is the really will have a bad impact. Let me give you one examples from one of my students.
Mm-hmm.
In the speaking task, the teacher asked him, "Hey, what's your name?"
Mm-hmm.
It's a male student from Asian countries. He said his name to the teacher, and he became nervous and started sweating. And the teacher said, "Are you all right?" Because he's so much nervous, and now he couldn't talk, unfortunately.
Oh,
And then teacher asked him, this task one question, give him the cue card. He couldn't answer anything. And the
wow.
examiner felt bad for him, and he
Oh.
didn't get any marks at all. So he took some lessons from me, and I just
Oh.
gave him some motivational instruction, and I gave him some
Mm-hmm.
confidence. And you know what he got he got maybe 0 or 1. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
the examiner gave him 0 out of anger. That why he couldn't talk. He shouldn't given him 0. At least 1 should be given
Wow.
there. And he got 6 straight away from in one jump the next time when he sat for the exam.
Wow.
That means he was in a really confident, but he couldn't talk. So don't be nervous, be positive, and
Okay.
be confident. Do not be
Okay.
repetitive. That is the matter. When we are talking in an exam environment, do not use the same words again and again, which must be boring, which must be really creating
Mm-hmm.
very negative impact. And I'm just giving all the real life examples. One of my students, if I ask him, say, did you take your dinner? Oh, yes, yes. No, no. He used to say like this. I said, no, don't say yes, yes twice, or no, no. Simply be cool and say, yes, I took it, or no, I didn't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number two,
Okay.
here is the matter of feeler. Like, you know what, I did this. You know what, I did this.
Uh,
Actually, one of my students, I was really annoyed. I took a test and he's used 42 times actually in 2 minutes.
did you count it?
No, he was not an IELTS candidate, but he was just trying to develop his speaking quality. Then I said to him, "Do not use actually, too many. It will be really annoying for other people." Okay, so do not be repetitive. And number 8, 9 is use different kinds of vocab, the lexical resources now. Say, if you have to use one example, a tiny example, like beautiful, a word, yeah? Like it's a beautiful day, for example. Now, if you need to use this word one more time, try to use the synonyms. Okay, it's better to
Okay.
know common synonyms like attractive or fascinating or amazing or cute. And I'm sure you know that, Jana, depending on the context, you can use different kinds of vocabs, synonyms. Okay. And sometimes you need to give examples. Remember that. Just give the examples as a personal, rather than saying you or someone else. You can say I. Like if the examiner asks you, what's your experience? What is the experience of having COVID? Now, if you're
COVID.
COVID, for example, now if you say, yeah, some people feel that, rather than you should say, I feel that. You're giving example here personally.
Okay.
Okay, and make it interesting. Explain it in an interesting way. What does it mean? It means that when you're having conversation, try to be always in a smiley mood and eye to eye. It's very important. Eye to eye. Examiner side your eye. Now don't look at any other side and try to answer. This will be really annoying for the examiner and for you as well. All right. Then stick to the point. Stick to the topic, and you make sure you answer the questions. Now here is a challenging part, Jenna. It's not a problem for you when an examiner is asking you questions. If you don't understand, how do you ask the question again?
Can you say that again?
Okay, what are the other ways?
Or pardon?
Mm-hmm.
Or how can I say that?
Okay, now you're right, whatever you have said is right, but in IELTS exam we use this word. I'm sure you know that, paraphrase. Do you use this word in writing? You have to
Oh yeah, preference.
in writing. Okay, our CEO June is here. Hello, CEO June. I can see he's here.
Yeah.
Do you know that our CEO June is from Korea? He lives in the United States.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, if he's here, maybe he can come today. Okay, rephrase. But in speaking, we use this word rephrase. So you have said, can you say that again? Number one, or could you please repeat? Number two, I beg your pardon, or excuse me, or could you please rephrase? Rephrase would be the best word. So
Okay, rephrase.
rephrase and paraphrase, they are almost similar, but we use paraphrase in case of writing and rephrase in case of speaking. What it means that you need to simplify your words now. If the student says, teacher, could you please rephrase? That means now you have to simplify the words and explain it to the person, to the learner in a different way. So if you please keep a notebook so that you can write some of that points, in order to get good marks in speaking test. Now, number 12, okay, stick to the point, as I said. So if you're describing COVID-19, do not bring any other topic. So if teacher, like the examiner has asked, what's your experience of the COVID-19? Now, yes, I've started speaking. Now your topic has gone to some other bacterial virus. So it is irrelevant in that case. Okay. All right. So next point is that number 13, talk as much as you can. Okay. This is another important point to be noted. And task 1 and task 3, you will have time maybe 30 to 40 seconds for every question. And you need to answer it according to the question's pattern. In every question, there is a pattern. Okay, Jana, and you have to remember and listen to it very carefully when you're answering. Like the way I asked you the question, I'm going back there. So these are the basic things. Okay. Question pattern. So each question has a pattern. Just when you're answering, remember to use the pattern and answer it in full sentence. Do not be limited to yes or no. Like my question was, let me listen to you. How are you doing today? Yeah.
Yeah,
And do you remember what did you answer?
I'm good.
I'm good. Look at this question pattern. Verb with ing. So the examiner will expect to answer it rather than doing good. I'm good, you said. You can say I'm doing good. Okay. Rather than I'm good. The expectation would be I'm doing good. Yeah. Look at the question pattern is verb with ing, or I'm doing well. It sounds better rather than good. Good is an adjective, remember, well is an adverb. Do not use I'm doing good. You can say I'm doing well.
Okay.
Great. And so this is one thing. Now, second important matter, when you're answering, if the question is about past tense, always use past tense.
Okay.
Unless it is a direct quotation, like you can say, when I was a child, my mother always used to say, hey Jenna, we must study hard. Now it's a quotation, what my mother advised. But if you want to say in an indirect speech, like, then it should be like this: my mother advised me to study hard or study more.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So okay, these are conditionals. Okay, these two questions, as I explained earlier, PPF, present, past, and future tense. And I asked you this question. I'm sure that you have studied grammar, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit mini test in task 1, so that we can exemplify and clarify these questions. And so what I understand from your speaking, that you need help in speaking and writing, right, Jana? Yeah, so that will be our 2 focuses of IELTS exam. But if you need any other help, like reading or listening technique, always we can discuss here, or you can send me a message in the subscriber chat.
Okay.
Great. Now let me ask you plain questions. How long have you been using internet in your country?
I think my whole life.
Your whole life. Okay. Now look at this question pattern once again. How long have you been using? Try to use the similar pattern. Remember, your answer is correct. There is nothing wrong. But in order to get good marks, once again, use the question pattern when you're answering.
Okay.
Remember that. How long have you been using? You can say, I've been using all of my life, whole life. Okay.
I've like that.
Okay. Is it very affordable in your country, the internet, the technology or internet or Wi-Fi? Is it very cheap, economic? I'm just asking you a question. Is it very economic?
Oh. I just think you're just saying or like explaining. So, what's that question again? Sorry.
Is it very economic to get internet in your country?
Yes, in my country has a lot of Wi-Fi or cheap internet service. So, many of people can use internet easily.
Okay. Do you remember how much the cost was 5 years ago?
Oh, actually, I don't know the cost because I didn't pay the internet service. My parents did, so I don't know the cost.
Okay.
Cost, yeah.
All right. Was it affordable for each and everyone in your country?
Yes. Mm, I don't have the friend who didn't pay the internet service. So I think it's affordable.
Okay. Uh, so, what do you think? After 5 years, will it be more economic for each and every person?
Yes, of course. Um, in like 5 years later, maybe internet is will be very useful more than this time. So I think, yeah. Um, I don't know how to say that.
Mm-hmm. Think that you are having a taste, but if you say negative answer, it will have a negative impact on your score. Okay, that's great. So this is one of the questions patterns as I've given in a demonstration. How
Mhm.
so examiner may ask you the real life exam in IELTS exam. Okay, I'm going to show
Okay.
you another marking system of speaking task. You see, you get 25% for fluency and coherence,
Mhm.
25% for lexical resource,
Mhm.
25% for grammatical range and accuracy, and another
Mhm.
25% for your pronunciation. You have noticed that there is no marks for having accent or not. It is the pronunciation which you must be awarded as an candidate. So
Mhm.
I've explained fluency, and coherence means that when you're explaining a topic, it should be step by step and always about the topic only. Lexical resources, I have explained like the different kinds of vocab. Grammatical
Mhm.
range and accuracy, so using correct grammar and different kinds of uh, you know grammar pattern.
Mhm.
Okay, and the last one is pronunciation.
Mhm.
All right, so the band score 840. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to ask you a few more questions to know more about you. See the conditional
Mhm.
sentence. If you I was giving the examples earlier. Do you remember what are called conditional sentence or conditional situation of grammar? Do you remember that?
PPF.
No, that's gone. Past, present, future.
Uh-huh.
Conditional sentence.
Conditional sentence. Doing.
Uh,
Um.
okay, let me share. No worries. Hang on a second. Speaking tips. Okay. So conditional sentence. So conditionals,
Oh.
there are four types of conditional actually five: zero, first, second, third, and mixed. So
Mhm.
how do you know it's a conditional? Remember that conditional sentences are also called hypothetical situation or imaginary situation. When the examiner will ask you a hypothetical situation, say, if I ask you, if you were
Mhm.
the, say, president
Ooh.
president of your country, what three things you'd like to resolve for your country?
Ooh.
So it's totally a conditional sentence, okay? And
Ooh.
would you like to, sorry, not you'd like to, would you like to resolve for your country? Now remember that you need to use this pattern when you're answering. And the answer
Mhm.
should be like this. I'm giving the example. If I were the president now of my
Mhm.
country, you have to give only three examples. Remember, you wouldn't get more than 40 seconds to 1 minute to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see how you answer, then we're going to explain after that. Are you there, Jana?
Oh, sorry.
Can you see the questions? It's a test for you. Let me see how you
Yeah.
respond.
Oh, that question.
Come on, you can do it.
I don't about at all in my whole life. I don't want to be a president.
If you say that, the examiner will be laughing at you.
And my will be like low. Oh, hard. Three things.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Try it. Then I'll give you the hints how to answer.
Okay. If I were president in my country,
Mm-hmm.
I do um some kind of I don't know. What should I do?
Okay. Remember that it is a hypothetical situation or conditional sentence. So your
Mm-hmm.
answer would be using the same pattern. Like if I were the president of my country,
Mm-hmm.
firstly I will find out the major problems.
Oh.
Okay, that would be the first thing, because being a president is a very big responsibility to control the whole country. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then you will say, among these problems I will prioritize three important problems. Like it may be your education, or you can say it
Mm-hmm.
could be an employment, or maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
say that industrial expansion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you can also say, this is one of the questions that came to the IELTS speaking task. uh, One student said, because I'm a president, I'll not solve the problems myself. I will
Oh.
ask my relevant department, the people who can do that. But
Yo.
you understand now, yeah. But I will prioritize the three problems, like maybe, as I said, employment should be the first. We use
Mm-hmm.
bullet point. Bullet point means you have to number. First, you tell like this: if I'm the president, I will definitely ask a relevant authority to find out the major problems, and
Mm-hmm.
among these major problems, I'll ask them to resolve these problems. Number one, unemployment
Mm-hmm.
situations. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very common in my country because people are educated but they don't get jobs. So I'll
Yeah.
ask our a relevant department to find out or create opportunities for them. Number two, you can say maybe transportation, or maybe um, crime. You say
Mm-hmm.
it depends on you how you can explain. Remember, it is always you who have to prioritize the three things. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
then you can say that crime is one of the growing problems in a young generation. So we'll try to ask a relevant department once again to how they
Mm-hmm.
can be trained, how they can be motivated to good things. Number three, you can say maybe transportation. So
Mm-hmm.
in some areas of our country, we don't have good transportations, highways,
Mm-hmm.
roads, and bridges. I'll ask my people to sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Oh.
remember that in IELTS exam, we are not going to get more than 40 seconds or 1 minute for each and every answer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is just a conditional sentence. Now, if someone doesn't know what is a conditional sentence, then it will be difficult to answer. That's why I asked
Mm-hmm.
you, did you study conditional? If not, then we're going to have a little bit discussion.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, so we're going to have a little bit discussion, but today I'm giving the overall briefing of all the speaking tasks. So in speaking task one, the examiner will ask your name, And
Mhm.
general question. And task 2 is a cue card. If you remember cue card, cue card
Mhm.
is a card where you'll be given a topic, and the teacher
Mhm.
will give you 1 minute to think about the topic.
Mhm.
Okay, and after that you'll be asked to talk at least 2 minutes. And while
Mhm.
you're having conversation or while you're delivering speech, if you remember those things, you need to explain all these things about the topic. Okay, number 2, this is task 2. And task 3 is the PPF, present past future conditional, and also
Mhm.
you'll be asked to describe something a bit elaborately. Okay, now tricky point for task 2 at the cue card is that start speaking unless the examiner says you, hey, stop now. Okay, if the examiner asks you to stop, that is the point you're going to stop.
Okay.
All right, now you have to maintain the timing for the task 2, because in most of the cases, learners cannot speak more than 90 seconds.
Mhm.
But you must remember that you have to talk at least 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes or more, in order to get the good marks.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Great. Shall we do a test for task 1 or 2 today, Jenna?
One, please.
Let's go step by step. 1. Okay. Task 1 is really basic questions, but I'm sure you can answer it. Like the first question maybe, are you in a job or are you a student?
Actually, I'm not in both of them. I'm studying for IELTS for going abroad, and now I am doing part-time job for my life.
Okay. You said abroad.
Yeah, abroad.
Abroad, remember, you're saying aboard. Yeah, remember,
Okay.
aboard and abroad.
Oh.
Look at these two words, abroad. Broad, BROAD, broad.
Mhm.
But abroad, abroad, yeah,
Uh-huh.
ABROAD, foreign country. But if you say aboard, means you're going somewhere. Hey, welcome to aboard, yeah, welcome aboard. That you're welcoming to the flight or the plane or maybe bus or maybe some vehicles. That is aboard. But
Mhm.
abroad,
Abroad.
one more time, abroad.
Abroad.
Very good. So your first
Abroad.
question is, are you a student or in a job? You have answered well. Like, I'm neither a student nor in a job, but you can say I'm both.
Ah, okay.
Great. Now, in task 1, the related question next is that you have mentioned that you work in a part-time job. Where
Mm-hmm.
do you work?
I'm working in Academy English 학원 in
Uh,
Korea.
okay. It's better to use English Academy rather than Academy English.
Academy English, okay.
Is it Academy English UK? Its name? Is it a name, Jenna?
Uh, Actually, that is not name. Um, Many of Korean have to go, wants to go to study for some subjects,
Hmm.
not in school, like privately, going somewhere to learn
English.
something. Yeah, English or math or another subject. So I am learning English now. So I said English Academy.
Okay, but you said earlier Academy English.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Remember that wording is an important matter when you're expressing English Academy. We don't say
English.
we don't say Academy English Academy. Okay, that's great. So how long have you been learning there?
I've been learning here for like 2 years right now. I know 2 months. Sorry,
2 years or 2 months?
2 months.
So you've been learning English for the last 2 months. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, how is the environment there? The teaching environment?
Um. He, it's good, and it's so comfortable to rest and study, both of them. And t- uh, the CEO, should I say CEO in here? I don't know, but CEO makes me feel better to study. So it's good.
Okay. Um, I've just noticed that you use this word very often, good. Yeah. Is there any way
Yeah.
you can use the replacement words like amazing, exciting, interesting?
Uh,
Oh,
amazing. Okay.
yeah, because what happens if you keep using good again and again, it
Mm-hmm.
will impact on your scoring. So it is, you can say it is an amazing environment to learn. So
Okay.
how is the environment? The examiner is asking your academic environment, the teaching qualities, and how we can learn, and move to the next level. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can use the
Mm-hmm.
word good as an adjective, but it's better to use other adjectives like amazing, fascinating, interesting, or sometimes people say surprising in a negative way,
Mm-hmm.
shocking as well. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And now in task one, related question comes like this. Um, why did you choose this academy specifically?
Because I want to learn English, and I know teacher for like 5 years ago. So I want to meet him for not meeting. Oh. I want to taught by him. So I choose this academy.
Okay. Once again, look at this question. Why did you choose the academy? Eh?
Uh-huh.
Your answer is okay. Remember, it's a past tense. I
Yeah.
chose. Yeah,
Cool.
I always. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If remember another basic technique for IELTS getting good score is answer according to the tense and the sentence structure. I chose. Choose is the
Mm-hmm.
present tense.
Mm-hmm.
Chose. Chosen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Past participle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Jana, your primary focus would be to listen the questions very carefully so that
Yeah.
you don't miss the questions at all. And
Uh-huh.
remember that if you listen to the question carefully, there is no way you're going to miss the word, or you don't have to say excuse me sir to repeat it. Because if you say this question during the speaking task more than twice,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I didn't get you, it will have a negative impact on your score as well. The examiner might think that, oh, the candidate is not listening to me carefully, or maybe
Oh.
didn't understand at all. That's why you ask
Uh-huh.
twice. Say excuse me twice. Okay. So why did you choose the academy? Then you answer like this. I chose the academy because of the environment, because I know some of the academic staff.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Any question? Always, if you have any question, always stop me and ask me, please. Yeah. We've got four. We've got less than 5 minutes. Time goes quickly, when we start discussing something. And also remember that, Jenna, only 1 hour is not enough for you. So whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
learning from your academy and whatever you're learning from here, try to use them later. Try to study at home. And
Okay.
also, if you need any support, anything else, just send a message in the subscriber chat. I'll be
Okay.
and I'll suggest you as a part of your writing, choose a topic and send me to the subscriber chat. I'm going to send an email so that I can have a look your writing styles. Okay.
Okay.
All right, that will be better for you. And if you remember that in IELTS writing part, task 1 is mostly graph or bar chart, and task 2 is big essays of like 250 words minimum with 40 minutes time, and task 1 is 150 words 20 minutes time. So most of the times, what our students do, they start with task 1. My suggestion would be don't start the task 1 because task 1 is easier. Start
Yeah.
with task 2, give it 40 minutes, keep a timer. And another question is asked very often, does the examiner count the words? Yes, they do, literally. So you got to be very careful when you're writing. You need to be compliant with 250 words for the task 2 minimum. And the maximum you can use 10% more, which is 25 words more, say in between, say 275 to 300 words is okay. All right. Okay, so let's move on. There are 2 more questions in the task 1, speaking task 1. So how do you go to your English academy?
I usually took my car, but when I can't use my car, I usually take my step. Go by walk.
Okay, you usually drive a car, but when you haven't got the car, we don't say by walk, we say on foot or by walking.
On foot. Okay.
Yes, I go there on foot or by walking, not by walk. Yeah. But it's better to use on foot. Okay, another important matter I've just noticed when you're having a conversation, try to follow only one pronunciation techniques or accents. In IELTS exam, it is expected that you follow, when you're writing, one spelling techniques, either British spelling techniques or American spelling techniques, and in speaking, one speaking techniques, because in British accent or pronunciation, we do not pronounce letter R in most of the cases, and we pronounce letter T in a stronger way. Whereas in American pronunciation or accent, letter R must be pronounced, and they've got a special techniques. And letter T, many cases sounds like D, flap T, we call them. Yeah. But when you're answering to me, sometimes some of the words are you're following some British techniques.
Because I went to New Zealand when I was young, and after that I've been in Korea for a long time, and almost everyone used just American English. So
okay, but remember that in order to get good marks in exam, you have to choose either of them, not both of them. Though some examiners may consider it is called amalgamated pronunciation is okay, but the British Council, IELTS British Council, that's from the UK, and there's another IELTS from IDP Australia. There are 2 authorities. Australia, IDP Australia, sometimes they consider it amalgamated accents are okay, but if the examiner is from British Council or the UK, then it will have a little bit impact on scoring. Okay. So we've got 15 seconds. Thank you very much, Jenna. We'll see you tomorrow. And if you've got any questions, comments, or anything, please do ask me in subscriber chat. Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. You take care and bye.
Thank you. Bye.